Hello, Bills Mafia. This year, the Pagulas, and mostly the tax base of Western New York, are looking for a new Buffalo Bills stadium.
Cool.
The new stuff is pretty cool. It's been 49 years in the NFL's oldest stadium that has not yet been overhauled. The study suggests a new one. And with that $1.4 billion comes 1.7 billion opinions on how to spend it. We're not buying beer, Paul. Although that is a lot of beer. In case you don't like to read.
I can't stand reading.
Well, okay.
I get very bored very, very quick.
Yeah, I got it. You don't have to. I read the official ACOM studies from 2021 and 2014 comparing the sites. Plus, further academic papers, some articles, attended the Common Council hearing, and let's just get down to Tyler brass taxes. We'll compare apples to apples, the two proposed spots, then you can decide for yourself. And take it from the Patriots. When you have all the information, you can make better decisions.
And this is a piece you're filming on your Advanced Scout? Yeah.
But I can delete this right here for you.
Contestant number 1 is building a new stadium in Orchard Park on Abbott Road. The land is owned by Erie County and would sit in the footprint of ECC. Contestant number 2 is in Buffalo, downtown, a 10-minute walk from the Sabres Arena. The land is owned primarily by the city of Buffalo, with about 10% private owners. Look, easy win here. Both locations keep the team in Western New York. Woohoo! Sticker price on that's $1.4 billion in Orchard Park and an additional $300 million in Buffalo. If either site gets a roof, add $300 million more. Both of these would be paid for, presumably, by a similar combination of public and private funds. That's your money and Terry's money. Not his. His.
We all just bought a team.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna talk about parking.
God, that gets me going, man.
Yes, this seems like a lot of parking, and it is. Within a 12-minute walk of the 50-yard line, you have just over 5 million gross square feet. Emphasis on gross. Hey! But the downtown Buffalo site actually has that too, just under 5 million gross square feet, within the same 12-minute walk. So that's actually a tie for round 1. And I say round 1 because we're ignoring the secret weapon, the light rail. So forget about feet, 11 square miles of the city, and that's 100,000 Bills fans live within that 12-minute walk of the light rail system. Thus, the parking opportunities, even free parking opportunities, miles away from the congestion of game day traffic, at least double. Even from the farthest spots, like the Park and Ride and UB South lots, it's a consistent 20-minute ride on the train, no matter how backed up the game day roads get. Now, all of this is with existing light rail infrastructure, which could and likely would get extended at least one stop to the First Ward and the new stadium. It certainly has the potential to continue on through Larkinville and to the east side all the way to the airport. Either way, door-to-door service in about a half hour is hard to beat. Parking round 2 goes to downtown Buffalo.
Sure, that's convenient if I just wanted to park, but I'm here to tailgate.
So what does that look like? Well, it's the Canal Side lots, it's Riverworks, it's the Resurgence Brewery area, kind of its headquarters. That means most of the tailgate has waterfront views and some legit full-scale playthings for the hardliners and, the Mafia minis. I don't know. I mean, it's families. So in this area, you've got music equipment, toilets, sidewalks, trains, even the floating tailgate. That's pretty dope. Or you choose Larkinville, or near the Bison Stadium. All of the sites are punctuated with beer gardens and high-capacity breweries with indoor plumbing. Hey, so we'll say that Orchard Park still edges downtown in its just sheer scale of uninterrupted slab. But downtown's similar scale, plus plumbing, tailgating 2.0 toys, and the fact that you can bring your boat to some of the games, at least draw a tie in this ranking. That is impact in terms of folding tables. Now for impact in terms of traffic and economy.
Let's go to the maps!
Oh my god. Is that the multiverse?
It's so beautiful up here.
Enhance.
So where are all the people?
Yeah, go ahead and overlay density. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got. And the 2 sites? You have hotels on there?
Traffic. Almost all of Bills Mafia drives to the Orchard Park site from one direction, north. It's not just the cities, that's also suburban traffic. And it's the hotel rental car traffic. And it's the Rochester-Syracuse Canadian traffic. And look, none of this is a huge deal until it eventually bottlenecks into the two surface streets 2 miles from the expressway, which intersect each other. It's bad for flow. And I'm not making this up, that's 100% of fans and employees on the road, 85% in their private vehicles. It's actually quite a contrast downtown. Amazingly, 40% of the cars are cut right out of the mix. That's because those fans and nearby employees are just using the free light rail train. So that leaves only 60% of the total cars. And they happen to be a few hundred feet from the high-capacity, non-intersecting expressways, which service all directions. This is good for flow. Finally, with downtown being central to the Western New York population, the burden on any individual road system is reduced to about 25% or less. And I'll tell you what, this infrastructure handles those types of loads every workday. Speaking of 90,000 cars driving by every day, the sponsorship value sure goes up. So does the visible evidence of a Buffalo comeback. If the site is downtown, Buffalo would no longer be the only Rust Belt NFL team without a downtown stadium. In fact, of all 20 Major League teams in the Rust Belt, it's only the Bills who are without a downtown stadium. Of the nation's 122 Major League teams, 104 play downtown. This includes every NFL stadium built or entirely overhauled since 2010. These are the markets that we not only compete against in the league, but as a region, when we're recruiting talent or business, or trying to draw tourists, or trying to keep our next generation here. The 2021 AECOM study conservatively projects that the downtown site would generate 29% total growth over 30 years between residential, office, retail, and hospitality. In contrast, the Orchard Park site generates 1.6% growth. So that translates to an additional $53 million in tax revenue for the city of Buffalo and Erie County, compared to $0 additional dollars from Orchard Park. They were clear in the study to point out that this was measured without considering other coordinated initiatives, like expanding the light rail, or allowing the University of Buffalo football to share the stadium. The 2014 study found that the Buffalo site would generate $100 million more in total economic impact than Orchard Park, and $9 million more in taxes per year. The downtown Buffalo site simply generates more money. While it's a win for the city and the region, does it also come with a loser? Here's what I was able to find from the very limited academic analysis out there. They conclude when a new stadium arrives in an urban setting, property values within 1 mile increase, with the effects tapering to no change at the 2 mile mark. This is good news for the homeowners, which is about half of that footprint. For the renting half, yes, there are new amenities, but it does bring an average rent increase between 4 and 8%. So $40 to $80 more on a $1,000 lease. The same mile footprint also sees an increase in higher density housing options, fewer abandoned buildings, more employed citizens, an increase in higher education obtainment, and unfortunately a decrease in Black or Asian populations. Keep in mind that these impacts will come quite slowly. A stadium at either site will not be completed before 2027. Obviously, there are some negatives and positives in that. Overall, is it a social gain or negative? Well, it largely depends on how it's executed and your personal experience. So I'll leave this blank for you to score for yourself. One thing that we must get right is the relocation of the 4 businesses and 600 residents within the site, which is otherwise vacant. The most important voice at the Common Council meeting came from a commissioner of the Buffalo Municipal Housing Authority, who weighed in.
I've already spoken to the tenant council in the Perry projects, and they're very interested in this idea. BMHA currently scores a 61. That's 1 point above receivership. So people are living in some pretty bad situations. The Perrys, that's on the table to be redeveloped anyways. So the things I heard today was very impressive, and I'm gonna fight like hell to make sure that people are not gentrified. Many options BMHE can use to relocate people. People don't want to live in horrific conditions. Sure, they want to live in that space if they can, but if we can offer them better opportunities. For example, We can use Section 8 certificates to pay their mortgage. There's all kind of opportunities we can do for them. I believe this opportunity will transform their life.
There was unanimous enthusiasm to get this part right if the site is chosen, including the suggestion to build new single-family homes as a way to make sure that our neighbors' situation gets better. If I know anything about the Bills Mafia, it's that we want to take care of people. Still, this requires coordination and more complex environmental study, so the ease of transition does go to Orchard Park.
Okay, that's it. Pencils down.
That's literally everything I was able to figure out. But I will leave you with this thought. We got incredible value for our $22 million stadium 50 years ago. And if the new stadium were to last that long, the year would be 2077. We got to try to remember that we're not building the stadium for today, and especially not for the 1970s. It's for your kids and the Buffalo Niagara of the future, whatever that might look like. And we have influence on that. What we can see on the event horizon is that the DL&W light rail station will be done. The River Line Trail adjacent to the site will be done. The world-renowned Albright Knox Gun Latch Art Museum will be open. Our city will still host the iconic architecture, excellent food, sports, festivals. But the big question to me is, are we going to combine those strengths into the future, like our neighbors in Cleveland did, or in Baltimore, or in Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Denver, Detroit, Sacramento, Nashville, NOLA, Minneapolis, Tampa, Toronto, Seattle, 32 more, or not? It's your investment. You need to decide where and how far you want it to go. Get involved, however you feel about it. There's going to be a meeting on December 6th, 7th, and 8th, potentially even more to come. Go Bills.
God, it gets me going, man.